Podcast episode, whatever, Ep 4, right now.
So, Snip, what are your opinions on...
I haven't hit the start button, you slut.
No. Pepsi and Coke? I don't know.
Now I hit the start button.
So, I'm like, what are your opinions, Snip, on Pepsi and Coke?
Honestly, I could never decide which one was better. Like when
Really?
I did drink pop. Like,
Really?
But the answer is obvious, though.
I mean, it's obviously Pepsi, but like...
No,
shut
no, it's
up.
not. It's not Pepsi.
No, shut up. It's
It's
Coke.
not Pepsi. It's not
No one knows
Pepsi.
this.
It's a lie.
It's not Pepsi. No, it's Coke.
I'd have to try them again. I haven't had them in years.
It's Dr. Pepper.
Hey, Maris, can I get my mod perms back?
Maybe.
We need to mute
Maybe.
Snip, man.
Maybe. You want to mute Snip? It's just...
Bro, he said Pepsi's better. That's a offense.
So I already started the podcast. It's already been going.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a way to start. That's
That's
a way to
fine.
start, is just to talk about Pepsi and, how we should be
Yeah.
abusing our mod perms and muting team members. But, it's all good, right? I think it's in good faith. So today's podcast is about Black Lives Matter protests that I think is really just police brutality protests. The reason I wanted to do this podcast was about this week in my hometown in Jersey, 20 miles from where I live, not too far. They basically marched about 9-10 miles, and some of them were out there throwing rocks at cars and shit. It was somewhat peaceful, somewhat not peaceful. It was kind of a mix of every nationality and gender under the sun, but I don't know. I just wanted to record some things that were going on because they were saying that something along the lines of Trump should be out of office, but it's like, you really think about it, it's not really Trump's fault. I'm not pro-Trump either. I don't particularly care. He's fixed the economy. That's the one thing I appreciate, but I don't see how one dumbass officer shooting someone, through police brutality is the fault of the President of the United States. When you think about it, George Zimmerman, a lot of people think he was an officer, and the real thing is he was neighborhood watch, but he was actually unofficial neighborhood watch. He wasn't, his committee wasn't registered by the National Neighborhood Watch, so he technically was carrying a gun for almost no reason. But you think about that happened under Obama's term. So really, this is just a matter of just general police brutality, because there wouldn't be this much of a fucking march throughout every town in every state. Warfare, you said, what town, what state do you live in? Just if you wanted to reveal.
I live in Texas. There's been protests here in Houston and Dallas.
There
And
has
all
been
over the place.
protests here in South Jersey. And I don't have to really explain. So,
what state is this? It happened in Michigan, right?
yeah,
It's the original,
the original thing, yeah. I think it was Michigan. I don't remember, but
yeah, pretty sure it's Michigan.
a lot of the subject matter that I wanted to show, I can't show on YouTube to everyone here. And the reason being is that a lot of it is gun violence. And I can speak from experience of having YouTube takedowns as it is. My one top meme video that a lot of people that still watch these podcasts are wondering, where the fuck are the top meme videos at? Sorry, I'm not doing them anymore. Because they get taken down immediately. Fuck YouTube. Fuck YouTube. Fuck them. Memes are banned. That's how YouTube acts nowadays. But funny thing about that, my video was removed because I used Edgar's Fall, which is the Spanish-speaking kid that falls in the creek. Apparently that was child violence and child abuse. But it's all over YouTube. But it's only because the video had 2-3 million views. So yeah, I guess I got a takedown notice because it's fair use. And I wasn't profiting off that video at all, because it was all trademarking. But that's not this topic. This is not for this. The point I wanted to make was the censorship for YouTube. But to get around that, down below in the description, I left a bunch of links regarding things like the police brutality. It's not just limited to the black folks and white folks. White folks do get shot too. There's been a couple accidents, really unfortunate ones, And then you have officers just shooting random animals rather than calling fucking pest control or bringing pepper spray or getting a cage or a net, being prepared. I don't know.
Then you have dudes blowing up ATMs.
Oh yeah, and blowing themselves up. That when I saw that on the news, I was actually standing. I was visiting my dad, and we both saw it on the news, and we just started laughing. We're like, "How the fuck do you accidentally blow yourself the fuck up trying to rob an ATM?" It was ridiculous. So, in my sources, I think it was one of the first 2 videos I linked for the brutality toward animals. One of them is a guy, he's literally kneeling down like this is COD. Yeah, sniper, it's copyright. But this one video, the guy was literally acting like it was fucking COD. He was taking a knee and shooting I think it was a groundhog. That was just in the road because it was causing a traffic accident or getting in the middle of the road. So rather than calling pest control to come out, to hold up traffic for a minute and then just get pest control to, put the animal in a fucking cage and take it somewhere, you're just going to shoot it, and then you're going to walk away, watch it suffer, and then get back and take another knee and take another shot at it to put its lights out. And then you got just people the cops breaking into your backyard, opening fire on your dog in your backyard, fenced off, because they can do that, or in your house. So it's not, that's your pet. That's your pet. And police can do that because they're armed and they're trained like morons. And then the trainers try to justify that on fucking TV, like they're smart, when they're not. So a dog growls, and that's supposed to be a threat. The better question is why did the officer jump a fucking fence to go into your backyard? Why are you back there? Couldn't you have just peeked your head over the fence, seen that there was a dog, and not jump the fuck back there and try to get the owner's, right to go investigate and to check around? How would a simple knock on the door suffice for that situation? What would you two have to say about that?
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
it's without words. You can't justify that. There's nothing you could say. I literally just solved the issue. Knock on the fucking door and look over the fence. If the fence is too tall, take a short hop or jump. If you can't jump and see over it, get another officer. Or search around the area. You don't need to go into someone's fucking property without consent. And if the person isn't home... Yeah.
I mean, it's either consent or probable cause. If they have probable cause, they can technically look, but...
I think probable cause is not enough grounds to just... Regardless. No matter what crime's going on.
No, I mean, there's still, of course, search warrants.
That's a bunch of bullshit, bro.
Oh, yeah. The next one... This one, when I saw this, I literally flipped my shit. I'm like, how the fuck did that even happen? White police officer is in a house trying to, I guess, make an arrest or check things. And there's a little girl just walking around, and a dog goes to rush the cop. Is growling because the new person in the house doesn't recognize it's trying to defend the family. He pulls his gun and shoots the girl in the eye. The little girl. White girl. Not a black person. Not Trayvon Martin. Not George Floyd. Little white girl. Probably no older than 6-7 years old. Shot in the eye. No longer has an eye. Maybe an artificial eye if they're lucky and can get medical science behind that. I don't know if that's possible. But her eye is probably gone.
Yeah.
So, and then that girl, for the rest of her life of living, if, the bullet hasn't affected her brain in any way, is going to now suffer and hate police for the rest of her life. Because of one officer was a fucking moron, and instead of using pepper spray on a dog, opened fire.
Or, even a taser gun would have been...
A taser, a net, pushing them off, punch to the
a
nose.
lot of things would have been just as effective. Or,
I've seen a comment from a person who says he's a mailman. He says the best thing you can do to deter a dog, pepper spray or a kick to the throat. And run. Yeah. How hard would that have been? The dog can't lunge at you. And this dog was small on that camera. This was probably I would say look like a Shih Tzu almost in size. It's a little fucking thing, yay high. Not even a foot.
Oh.
Not like a big ass Rottweiler, or like, you know, a fucking terrier. Not a big ass dog like them. If that was the case, yeah, that's when I guess you can try something. Taser. But excessive force is fucking ridiculous. Okay? And here's another one.
Coward.
Here's another one. Police killing Daniel Schaefer. Nobody knows who the fuck this person is. I just found out about this last week. Not even. New York police, or no, I'm sorry, Arizona. Officer walks into a house because they got a call. Guy's waving a pellet gun around. You know, he's been drinking in his own home. Somebody sees him from his window waving a little pellet gun. Works for pest control. You know, he's drinking in his own house. And police go to raid his house. They go in. 2 officers. 2. One body cam is looking towards one individual, and another one's over here holding a gun. Guy's begging, pleading for his life. Officers tell him, crawl to him. Crawls up. Go look at that video. It's on New York Times. Literally, he crawls up, he goes to pick up his pants, and he gets shot dead 5 times with an AR-15 in his own home for waving a pellet gun near a window. White man killing another white man.
That's stupid.
But guess what? White people didn't go out protesting. We didn't go burning down the national or the local police department. We didn't, you know, go to fucking Washington, D.C. and protest all throughout the states. Do you see the point that I'm trying to make of this stream? It's not a matter of fucking race, it's police brutality. The fucking law enforcement and the people that train them are back-ass retarded. The courts of the municipals, the judges, are fucking racist and retarded. They don't bother to investigate harassment cases. They don't bother with domestic disputes. They don't.
Okay, but see,
no
like
investigation.
McNair's, I think that, you know, like, some police are actually like decent officers.
Some of them are.
And with these officers, they taint like the police reputation. And really, I mean, not all cops are racist. That's not at all true. But
Some.
of course, there are just racist people. It doesn't, like, just because, some racist people are cops, it doesn't mean all cops are racist. So,
In one of those videos regarding the dog, I've seen quite a few horrible animal police shooting videos on YouTube. They're everywhere. But in one of them up top, the officer, or the trainer of the officers who is retired, is this older white woman. And she says, yeah, when a dog starts growling at you, you don't know what they're going to do. They're going to be an endangerment. And then she's like, you got to do what you got to do. It's life or death. And I'm like, so it's life or death? You got to open a gun and pull a gun and kill a fucking animal? Because you're in their backyard, their territory that they're used to. They see a rogue element in all black clothing yelling at it, get out or get away. The fucking animal can't understand goddamn English, number one. So saying get away or shouting, I mean, shouting's really the only thing you could do. I mean...
Oh, yeah, but another thing, Maris, I just want to mention. Have you heard of the people trying to abolish the police?
I have.
What are your opinions on that?
The police are a good thing. The issue is that, for the most part, that I've seen, even with my hometown police, and they're for the most part, they're a grand example. They sit around and they take care of only car trafficking, like regular traffic issues. They don't bother with anything else. You call out for any other reason, they will never bother to do any investigation. They'll say, "Oh, we'll do an investigation. We'll write a report."
If they're on site,
on site,
mostly has to do with like
but they go back to their municipal, back to their office. They say that they're going to do an investigation, and they don't do dick. I shit you not. I've had law enforcement take property from someone I know.
Yeah.
They didn't have the rights to take, and then were taken to court, and they lost their badge over it. In my own hometown.
No, I think instead of like abolishing the police altogether, I think what we need to do is at least do a little bit of police reformation.
Reform. I agree with a reform.
Yeah.
Here's the problem: you have the municipal police, and then you have the state police. And it's huge. What the fuck? What? Okay, I don't know what you're saying because you're short sentence, but the municipal and state police, they have multitude of differences. When you go to like a state trooper barrack, or you try to contact the FBI or CIA for about a serious issue, if you ever try to contact CIA or FBI through I think it's like the internet, like say for cybercrime, you will never get a response in the U.S. If you go to report a major cybercrime, something going on, someone posting docs on like hundreds of people and telling people to go kill them, guess what? They don't do anything. They don't tell you what they're going to do. Nothing. And I can kind of see why that's secure, but at the same time, why? And then you look at how the state troopers and how a municipal, like a town court would handle that. How would they handle that? I shit you not, this happened. Over a year and a half ago, I lived in Quarryville, Pennsylvania. Go look it up. It's a small town. It's not really big. It's really fucking tiny. It's yay big on the map. Not even a population of close to like maybe a couple thousand people. All Amish.
No, I know a lot of towns like that.
It's all Amish. I lived out there for 6 months because I was kind of staying with my mother-in-law, just to kind of hang out the area because apparently I have relatives that live out there, but I didn't know that. So at the time I was kind of just investigating that, and I had an issue where I needed a police officer to come over to check something out in their backyard, and I asked him I wanted to play legislator with him, and I shit you not, he made the comparison of killing Trump to me. He said that he would all open arms. I shit you not. He said, I would kill President Trump. Is what he said to me. I was like, what? when I was playing legislator with him, when I told him that some things are wrong in the township, some things should be going to change. But the fact that a municipal officer, has no problem with making that comparison to say, hey, I'm going to shoot our president or our leader. I mean, even if it's a joke, I mean, I don't see why to joke about that lightly, especially when you're armed and in my house. Or in my family's house, for that matter. Especially in front of a kid.
Mayor's.
What?
Copeland Saxton Gaming, and he said that, by the way, the police in my city are mostly preoccupied with busting weed and meth dealers. Yeah, that's true.
Drugs are so bad. Oh my
the one thing that I will say is I don't really care for the sale of. I don't know why your message was held for review. Let me hit show on it. Apparently, it's not letting me. I don't care. I'll probably make Warfare a mod on my chat, but let me be clear on this. I don't care for the sale of weed and marijuana. So long as you're not out driving and accidentally running someone the fuck over, because it's still technically, being high does affect the way you drive and operate things or play games. I mean, I know people that do get high and they actually play games like a fucking god. Better than they would if they were sober. Just like drinking. I know people who've gone to Evo drunk. They, like, hit it really fucking well. Put, like, peppermints in their mouth and they play like a god. But then when they're sober, they go to play their fucking garbage. That's whatever. That's like steroids at that point. Go do whatever with that shit. But meth, keep it the fuck off the goddamn street. For the love of God. Teeth, it makes you feel like shit. It's a horrible drug. I've never done it. It's killed people. It shouldn't exist. But unfortunately, it's easily to make. It's all you need. All you need. And I crap you not. I knew a friend who worked at Walmart. They said that their bestseller item was Tide, which is the detergent, because that's that's all you need to make meth, is detergent powder and a few things. When the person at Walmart said what's the most stolen item, which they taught them, it was meth. It was I'm sorry, it was Tide.
It's stuff to do.
Yeah.
Just eat a Tide Pod,
Ugh.
They're so tasty.
Snip.
That's not funny.
They're so colorful.
Girl, I just think about what you're saying.
I don't think it's that colorful or tasty at all. It sounds pretty gross.
Just FYI, everybody who's watching or
the playback.
Maris took the political compass test before we started this podcast.
You want to
he's
tell
a
them?
Socialist. apparently. So
I'm not this far to the left. It's just a tad to the left. Not major, nothing crazy.
you're almost a centrist.
I'm close to it.
It's disgusting.
I'm close to it. I'm close to it. And the fact that I don't have much of a political opinion scares even me. Police arresting black FBI, and the FBI agent actually trolls the police, the 3 officers that arrested him. I would go take a look at that video right now. It is fucking hilarious. They just call him stupid. He just says, you officers are stupid. You stupid. He's like, I'm going to get your badge numbers. I'm going to get... The comment section on that fucking video is honestly fucking hilarious. Is all goddamn hell. The one comment I lost my shit on, I think I told Sniper and Snip the other night. It was, that man, his FBI card was basically, it wasn't even an identification. It was a fucking reverse Uno card, or a get out of jail card. Or something. I fucking died of laughter reading that. I had to mute my mic and I fell on the fucking floor. I couldn't breathe. That don't happen often.
That's funny, dude.
Yeah, it's just like, how the fuck? It's pretty bad, but
Hey, Maris, it seems we have another centrist.
Oh, Copeland?
Yeah.
I mean...
You know what that means. It's
No.
time to start the center side.
You want me... You want to do genocide? What is this
No.
What is this, Undertale?
Center side.
What is this,
We're
Undertale?
starting the center side, man.
But what's interesting about that police arresting the black FBI agent is the fact that they didn't even bother to check anything. They just racially profiled him because he was black and looked like the guy. Word for word is what the officer said. And then when they uncuffed him, which was fucking more hilarious, he's like, I want your badge number, I want your badge number, I want your badge number. And they were all white cops. And he walked away, called him stupid, and got away with it.
Bro, it's just coincidence. But, whatever.
But my issue is when I was walking these protests to see if something would happen. I filmed it on my phone. My phone is upstairs. I don't want to put any of that footage on the internet just yet. But like, they were saying, get Trump out of office, and it's like, as I said earlier, it's not even about Trump. But the next thing,
it's not at all about Trump. Really.
The next thing that happened was they were shouting in front of my township's municipal, racist police with a racist system. And it's not that the police or the system's racist. It's just that I would say the system more is, because when the police go to find someone for an arrest or look for something, they profile someone regardless. So let's say, for example, they try to profile me. Let's say if I'm walking down the street and they're looking for a suspect. Then let's say that white male, red shirt, in his 20s. I'm a white male, red shirt. All right, brown, black hair. Yep, I match the description. Let's go stop him. That's how it works. So do I find that super racist? Not really. I don't care. I mean, I find it more offensive to my shirt, man. I find it more offensive. I'm sarcastic comment, quote unquote. Okay, maybe I didn't want to wear a red shirt. Okay, maybe I like blue shirts. Maybe I want to wear a blue shirt. Maybe I want to wear a fucking color blue, officer asshole. Can I just wear a blue shirt? Do you have to say I'm wearing a red shirt today? Maybe I just like the color red today. What's your problem? It's like, if the profiling like that is considered racist, then this country's stupid. I match the description. Let's go stop him. Really? You're gonna play that back through the fucking stream? God damn it!
We need a soundboard now. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm calling the mayor's soundboard. Okay.
Don't make an act. God damn it! Why did I start this?
I'm doing it. Sorry. Can't stop me.
That would be.
You cannot stop me.
God damn. All right. So the next one was the police considered to arrest a black woman's state attorney. Now, this was on I think it was CNN or whatever. It was either CNN or something else, but I can't remember on hand. But literally, two white officers pull them up. Woman has new tags on her car, apparently. She's the only one in the car. It's a silver car. I don't know what fucking model it was, but they walk up. They said they scanned her tags. They couldn't see what her tags was. And when the officer asked, word for word, go look at the video. And she asked, what were my tags run for? They're like, oh, we run tags all the time. We got to check if your car was stolen or whatever. It could be anything. It's like, well, what are you running them for? And before they even said that, she said, I'm a state attorney. So state attorney, they get special privilege, as in their car plates. You can't do anything. They don't come up, apparently, when they go to do that. But it's legendary that they pulled her over to begin with, because she was just newly appointed at that point to be the state attorney. Not really long ago, and they were considering pulling her over, getting her out of her car to give her a ticket or something, and she's the fucking state attorney. And they only pulled her over, and they fucked off immediately. Not because she was black, but because she was the state fucking attorney. It's just great.
Scary.
Hey, you know, Maris, some attorneys cannot be trusted. Just gotta say so.
No, you're right. You're right.
I mean, if anything, they're...
I've said this before.
You know what they're there for.
I know. To give the bad verdicts that are bullshit, to put money back in other people's pockets and find a way to price and tax every other fucking thing. Force trafficking tickets so that way they can earn more money than they should on top of their salary, which is gross. Just like our governor, Phil Murphy, who I consider the biggest douchebag on the fucking planet, who should be thrown out of office and put into a jail cell for not opening businesses for this long, number one. Number two, the way that he's enforced the mask law in New Jersey is a fucking shit show. There are still people going into stores without masks.
Yeah, I would say
or covering their face.
Pretty good.
You think my hair's good?
No, I said my governor here is good.
Oh, I don't know why I thought you said my hair is good. What the fuck?
Yeah, no, I said here's the governor is good. It's a great
fucking good. But most attorneys, I will say from experience, when I was kind of in internship with one,
yeah,
they are corrupt as fuck. I've had one try to bribe me to step down from a claim. From, defending someone. They literally said, hey, let's go out to lunch together. It's like, I'm going to pay you, $300 or something to step back from, defending your client. I'm like, are you fucking serious? That's how dirty it is. You go out to lunch with the guys, you probably just chill out, you buy your own food, he buys your own food, we sit down and talk for a little bit, and then he offers me money. He's like, here. He's like, do you want this $300 right here in cash? Drop your client. I look at him like...
See, I'm
drop your pants? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a lot of...
I think if the attorney had said what Snip said, that'd be more funny. He's like, here's $300. Drop your pants. While inside of a Burger King, okay? No, I think that'd be hilarious. It's like, drop your pants. Go.
Okay, but there's not a lot of, I guess, corporations and just businesses that aren't corrupt already, so...
You're right. Favoritism is always been a thing. It is one thing that I hate above all else. I hate people that brown nose to get their fucking job. I really fucking do. Anyone who does that, just take a fucking hike. I know someone like that at my work now. She just started 2 months ago, and she's already trying to aim for assistant manager position and boss everyone around. But she's kissing everyone's ass to get it. And it's like, you're disgusting. Number one. Number two, none of us wanted it. Fuck off with you. I was offered it 6 times, and I've declined it every time because I don't want to get up at 5 in the morning to do it at a part-time job when I have a full-time job on top. The other one, let me just take a step back from talking about, the police murdering, animals, white people, and, the generalized police brutality and how they've racially profiled. So, Minneapolis and George Floyd. Let's talk about that for a little bit, and the DC Blackouts. The video clip of the Minneapolis Police Department running out of their fucking building while it was on fire. And then...
Sorry, Not Michigan, Minnesota. Sorry, got them confused.
Was it?
Yeah,
Oh.
Minneapolis is in Minnesota.
Oh, you know what? I'm thinking of a different. I'm thinking of the thing I read the other day. Never mind. Sorry, but you're right. Thank you for correcting me. It was the police running out of there, and they're driving their car through the fucking gate to get the hell out. And they're running on foot. They're going crazy. They're just trying to get the fuck out. I looked at it. I'm like, what the fuck? I just started laughing. I'm like, I could immediately see someone taking that GIF or taking the image, making it into a GIF, and putting the subtext when someone farts too bad. I don't know why. Somebody could take that and turn it into that. I want someone to make that into a fucking GIF and put it in my server right now. Just please. Put that in my fucking server. I want to see it. When someone farts too badly in the goddamn office, and you see cars driving through metal gates to get the fuck out. That's just like, what the hell? But after I saw that, I zoomed in a little closer and I listened to the actual clip. And to know that the building was on fire, and then people went inside the building when they evacuated, and they filmed inside of it. People raided that fucking police department. Right? A police department, to my knowledge, in all of the U.S., there hasn't been one that's been burnt to the ground by assailants. So, if anyone knows of one before this one, I'd love to hear it. But the data they had is probably gone forever. All the records, the parking tickets, some of the domestic disputes in the area, a lot of that information is now permanently gone, and it's going to take a shit ton of time to rebuild it, even if they can get a police department back together in that town, or that area, that county. It's gone. It's not coming back. Now you could say, oh, they have it in cloud. Well, cloud only holds so much. People nowadays, they still use hard servers. You know?
Yeah.
A lot of companies, like, so let's say, for example, Home Depot, they still use Windows 7. They still use little hard drive towers, like, that are micro-sized big, the size of a fucking shoebox. Nothing big.
I mean, I've seen some, like, companies still using, like, IBM computers.
Because they still use third world stuff. Believe it or not,
So behind.
New Jersey and Pennsylvania, their unemployment systems still use DOS. There's some really old, I don't think it's DOS, some really old fucking language that's like 40 years old to use their databases.
Like BASIC?
I think it's BASIC, yeah. And they're trying to hire programmers to fix it and, update it.
Yeah, no, nobody knows that.
I read about it.
Not a whole lot of people, like...
If you're a programmer, go look it the fuck up. Right now. If you're watching this and you were a programmer, you're interested in some money from the state, go ahead, go the fuck on there. Go fix their goddamn system. Because there's people that haven't collected their unemployment checks. I got a temporary full-time job because my hours were cut at my part-time. And I was enjoying that, and I needed more money, unfortunately, so I had to get another full-time. But some people I know, some of my own family, they've lost their jobs because of this, and they can't collect unemployment because the line of unemployment people is so fucking long from COVID that you can't do anything. So you're just bone fucked out of nowhere, out of all of your income. You can't do shit about it. And you could sit there, call up unemployment. The system now in New Jersey, I'll tell you at least this much for New Jersey, depending on the last, I think it's 4 digits of your, no, I think it's 5 digits of your Social Security, you're supposed to call at a certain time on a certain day, within the hour. And if you miss that, or if you oversleep for it, they tell you to wait next week. And you have to assign for an appointment. It's really back the fuck up and slow.
You know what's really fucked up, dude?
Yeah.
Is I know a couple people that are making more off unemployment than when they were working.
We're
a
working.
fucking job. That's fucking disgusting and retarded.
No, you're
I'm
right.
just gonna say that.
You're right.
Getting to sit on your ass and do nothing. Gets
My
you
brother's
like
doing that.
way
My
more.
brother, I shit you not, he's been out of a job for over a year. Out of a job for over a year. And he's still, he just got approved for another fucking balance of $3,000 from unemployment. I look at him, I'm like, you're a fucking scumbag. Go get a fucking job and get out of my life.
It's amazing. Like, this one person is like, they're young, so like...
He's getting $250 a week to sit on his ass, and then he can go do under the table work.
Yeah, like, so this person I know, they're young, so like they're working like close to minimum wage, and they like made, or they're only working like part time actually because they did school, and so they were making like $180 a week or so, and with unemployment they're making like 600, 700 a week. Just
Yeah,
sitting around doing nothing. And it's like, what the fuck, dude?
it's
I mean,
really fucking gross.
that's
Right
amazing.
now, I am my old income used to be like 3K a week
Yeah.
from everything I do.
Uh-huh.
It is now down to about 1,300 a week,
Mm-hmm.
and that's dog shit for working.
Oh yeah.
For working a full time, part time, and doing what I do on top. I don't get the same amount
No.
of pay. I used to only work my my part time and under the table and this, and I'd get, on average anywhere from like 28 to 3, and it was not bad. It's not a whole lot of money. It's not. For some people, they view it as a lot. Some others, they don't. I don't really care. The way I view it, it's enough for me to get by and do what I want, and have fun, and build this nice little room, get my things, buy a couple hamsters, do whatever the fuck I want, go on vacation during a fucking pandemic and a tornado watch.
Yeah, yeah.
Go watch pufferfish implode on a fucking seagull's beak and kill them.
Holy shit! Is that what happened when you're?
When I went on vacation with my wife, we went to Long Beach Island. We went to the Drifting Sands Hotel. This happened a couple weeks ago, and she tried to bury me in sand. And while I was watching the seagulls, one went down into the ocean, picked up a pufferfish, and the pufferfish blew up, and blood spattered out of its beak, and it died.
Wow. That's.
Those are
crazy.
some deadly ass motherfucking pufferfish, man. We found a couple dead ones all over. The seagulls eat them. My state's last governor before this one was trash, and now he's the vice president.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. I know that Governor Chris Christie, when he was running New Jersey formerly, he did somewhat of an okay job. He didn't do too shit. I only ever heard like maybe one issue with him, and I don't remember what it was on hand. But fucking Phil Murphy, guy's a fucking nightmare. But
Yeah.
the issue is that police reform needs to be done by the current president of the United States for United States to be efficient, for police brutality to end, so that fucking stupid, insane left-wing nuts that are bringing in pallets of bricks from their unemployment from COVID to fund the protesters to throw bricks and shit. I don't know if anyone's seen the one video that was all over fucking NBC 10. A whole bunch of protesters on a major interstate highway, and they're breaking through a fucking barrier, and they're tear gassing them.
Yeah.
At that point, one of my GSM that I work with, her name's Janine, she told me, hey, it'd probably be easier to fucking hose them off with a fire department. Less waste. I mean, really, you're only wasting water. Why waste expensive tear gas canisters?
That's like Martin Luther King getting hosed down.
Yeah, and then let's stray away from that for a second. The DC Blackout last Monday, a week ago, on Twitter trended like fucking insanity. DC Blackouts hashtag, where apparently the White House basically went completely black and a red light clicked on, tear gas everywhere, explosions, and they were using non-rubber bullets. They were using real bullets apparently. And then there's news all over that says it was fake, it's bullshit, but then you're looking at video clips of people running inside of houses in the nearby area, holed up with officers outside and a curfew issued for 5 hours. And the major complaint that I see all over Twitter, and it's trended like fucking crazy, there are people missing. I have yet to see on that fucking trending list not a single comment saying, my son is missing, my mother is missing, my brother is missing, my boyfriend or girlfriend is missing. They don't say, I haven't seen a single fucking post like that. If I knew or heard one individual say, my friend is missing, with a defined name, right fucking now, if I could see something like that, I would actually believe it. And then there's people saying it was all bots trending that. Do you guys think there was bots trending that, or do you think that's all bullshit, or what? What are your views?
I didn't even hear most of that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, like your audio's kind of cut in and out for me. Just me.
Oh,
I
The
heard
DC
it, but I haven't really read that story. Well, I've heard of it, but I haven't read into it much, so I don't know.
the DC Blackouts.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Like.
Why not whiteouts? That was a good flavor of Mountain Dew, and it should be happening again now.
Whiteout was a good flavor. It was a good flavor. I liked it.
So
But it
are we
wasn't as good as fucking Mountain Dew USA. That was some good shit. Look it up. It was good shit. It was better than Baja. Needs to return. But let's not get sidetracked with soda here, because all soda's good. The CNN side of the blackouts, and I've heard a lot of stories about how the president went into a bunker, apparently for hiding. He's moved there. Apparently he went there of his own will, apparently to CNN, and went down for less than an hour with a couple of his family members, and then went back up. Here's the weird thing. He hasn't said anything about it. I'd like to see, some kind of fucking statement during the day made by him saying, hey, so this is what's going on. Make an announcement that the blackout's fucking bullshit, or say something at least.
Well,
So-
he doesn't want
Oh.
to make a statement that will make it obvious that he's a goddamn coward.
How you doing, DM?
Doing okay. So
Stewards.
I have an idea that would go a long way to not necessarily eliminating, but certainly reducing police brutality.
Let me hear it. I'd like to hear
It's-
reform.
There are several prongs to it. One, end the war on drugs.
Yes.
2, end no-knock, the policy of no-knock raids, no-knock warrants.
Yes.
3, require police officers to carry professional liability insurance.
Explain that one a little bit. For everyone else.
Like a doctor has to carry malpractice insurance, a veterinarian has to carry malpractice insurance.
Okay.
A police officer has to carry professional liability insurance. It will price bad actors out of the profession.
Got it. Continue.
4, end the militarization of police.
How would they, in an instance, if a criminal had a weapon and there was a shootout? Are you saying not march around armed, or?
I'm saying that police should not have up-armored Humvees.
Okay, that's understandable.
Yeah, no.
Not on hand.
Save that
Definitely
for,
not
like,
on hand.
Actual federal forces.
When you have it to like that, like you should have service, like special service, like guard for the government to only issue that stuff. National Guard, basically, at that point. It shouldn't be in the police's hand to have armored cars and fucking every other thing. They're suited up for military and riots. That's a little excessive. So you're right. Continue for the next one. Or is that it? Do you have any other idea for reform?
End the practice of qualified immunity.
I see that way too fucking much. I really do. With the fucking courts, they give a free pass to every officer that fucks up, so they can get back on the field, and because they mentally suffer from killing someone. So did Daniel Schaefer, did that guy who was shot by the officer? You know what happened to that officer? He lost his job, got it back, and went out on retirement. And shot a white man dead who pleaded for his life.
We had one. We had one here in Tulsa not too long ago. Betty Shelby shot an unarmed man at a traffic stop got off. She was fired from Tulsa PD, but she then became a reserve deputy in Rogers County, which is right next door.
And that's a nice position. That's a really, having deputy or chief is like pretty much up there beyond lieutenant or anything else. You get a little municipal, because there's municipal, then county, then state, and that's much higher in pay. So how they went from that to that with a little fucking murder of somebody getting off a bus is kind of ridiculous in itself. So I'll agree with you on that point. What I do agree with is the police not investigating. I can't tell you how many times I've seen in my own hometown a fucking domestic dispute or a theft of like $1,000, and the police say, "Oh, we're gonna investigate it," but then they're like, "Oh, we don't." They don't do anything. They'll go back to their office and say they're not going to do anything, but then it's like, "Oh, do we have enough time for this? Do we have enough time for this?" You're getting paid taxpayer money. You're a civil servant.
That's the other one, is misconduct has to be investigated by any accusation of police misconduct has to be investigated by an independent agency, whether it be FBI, whether it be State Bureau of Investigation, what have you. But it has to be.
I got another one.
You cannot investigate yourself.
I got another one. Lying reports to municipal police departments.
Ooh.
Or state.
Yeah,
I swear to God, I had one insane drug addict woman who lost custody of 2 of her kids come to my workplace, threaten my unborn kid, who I thought, I thought was going to be a parent. Unfortunately I'm not, but she threatened my unborn kids over a fucking $1,000 they stole from me.
Oh, God.
And they've left state. They made fake complaints to the police departments that I was outside of her house. I was ready to kill her with a knife. Multiple police departments, states, municipals, and now she's fled to another state. And no investigation, no apology. God forbid if the police came to my doorstep and arrested me for that fake complaints.
I work in aerospace. I work in aerospace now. I used to work in the nuclear industry. In neither of those industries are you allowed to inspect your own work or audit your own work. In both of those industries, someone outside has to audit your work. So why should it not be the same for police?
I agree.
Yeah.
I see too many police reports look like shit. A lot of them. In terms of property, I have had an officer who was apparently a lieutenant. I found, and this is a true story, back in my hometown, this happened 2 years ago. I found an abandoned bike out in the woods by a bunch of beer cans and some other shit, and I recognized the bike. It belonged to my friend Sherman. And Sherman's his last name. I'm not going to say his first name on stream, but I was wondering where the fuck he might have been at, because I know he does drink a lot and whatever. And his bike was abandoned in a fucking park, way the fuck back in the woods, far the fuck away. And his bike was still in relatively good condition. I start riding it through the neighborhood. Suddenly, police officer stops me and says, "Oh, that's a nice bike." Obviously, he was gonna take it for fucking, to sell it back to the municipal for some money, because he couldn't find someone to fucking harass for money. But I couldn't argue. He said, "Oh, there's no finders keepers law in the state of New Jersey." I didn't have my phone with me to argue it. But I knew if I pulled out my phone, or if I had one, he would have thought I was pulling a gun and shot me. Number one. Number two, I'm not going to be that stupid. Number three, I could have argued.
That's the other one. End civil asset forfeiture.
Yeah. In the state of New Jersey, and I fucking have the legislation somewhere. I have it right here, right? I have it right here in documentation. Yep, right here. And I got this from New Jersey Library. Right here. Assembly number 3180, State Legislature of the 208th Legislation. This was induced in May 24th, 1999. And it goes over, basically, the act of abandoned property. And it says here, a finder is a person who legally acquires possession of exercising physical control over abandoned property. A finder of abandoned property may assume ownership of it and has 3 options. The owner of the premise is return it to like a stand, or maybe I guess at this point, I'm trying to like a desk, like a front desk at like a park, you know, like a stand, like a little public, like a little box or whatever, to drop off. Either turn it over to the police willingly, or try to, you know, find the owner of it in the local area. And at some point you own it, you don't have to turn it over to the police. You know what the police did investigating that bike? They didn't bother to investigate. They didn't ask anyone if they owned it. They sold it off. I know the owner of it. The owner and me went back to that police department. We argued with the detective, and we had a video of the guy riding the bike around the other fucking week. Of him riding it down the street, and they wouldn't give it back to him. Same exact bike, same color, same everything. Told him that the fucking brakes were fucked up and sliding. Same thing. Just a regular bicycle for $100. Wouldn't give it back. So a cop threatened to arrest me over a bicycle that legally had no obligation to take from me in the first place. Rest in peace, Joe Reagan. Not that I feel ill-informed, but who is Joe Reagan?
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan. I guess I pronounced that wrong.
He's
Joe Rogan is a libertarian podcaster.
Yeah.
Oh. So basically, another me in a nutshell, so to speak. Because, you know, speaking out about the obvious truths here. Do you know, DM, anything about the guy, or the officer that shot the one girl accidentally in the eye? The little white girl?
The one in Louisville?
I think so. I've seen so much fucking shit over the last fucking few weeks in my own hometown and the shit online that it makes me want to vomit living in this fucking atmosphere. In the world we're living in, because like I gotta walk out the door, I gotta put on a mask because of COVID. I gotta fucking go to work, living in fucking fear, working in fear, and then everyone else is fucking harassing one another because they're not wearing masks or covering their face like this or they're whatever because maybe they can't breathe. You know, I have a breathing problem. I gotta go to work wearing a fucking mask now because some people over in China couldn't alert us sooner about a pandemic that spread somehow with the, you know, World Health, you know, WHO not inspecting anything, but the Chinese government kept it silent. So where's the world peace that we're supposed to so easily have with all these countries and their laws? Where the fuck is it? I shouldn't have to live in fear. I shouldn't have to work in fear. Everyone else shouldn't have to have that either. I think Frico the other day, when he was, I think it was episode 1, he told me about how he went to a supermarket and when the power went out, everyone started beating the crap out of one another for toilet paper. I could honestly see that being true. I could see that happening. And that was during the earlier times of COVID, when supermarkets required you, in order to go in them, to have a mask on.
Yeah, episode 1, coronavirus
Yeah.
brings them folks out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was. But to see the one scene that really made me flip my fucking shit was when I was at work and the people protesting down the street were walking with their babies, like baby strollers, and there's like 20 kids. You know, it's all black families, but it's like none of them had masks on. And I can't help but just say out loud, I almost wanted to shout out the window or out the door of the store because I was still in uniform, so of course I wasn't going to do that, but I almost wanted to say, put on a fucking mask, you morons. Still social distance, regardless of you being outside. Stop spreading this garbage. I want to take my fucking mask off and go back to normal. It's stupid fucking people that I hate. I don't care about color. I don't see color. I see normal fucking people like everyone else. I make jokes about stupid things, and when I get irked by dumb people that don't grasp basic concepts of respect and knowing what the fuck to do at certain times. Dumb people are just fucking stupid. You got stupid, lazy people that are collecting unemployment, they're collecting Social Security for fibromyalgia. I share the opinion of Ghost from True Capitalist Radio. Go look him up. He's still on YouTube. He used to err quite a lot and get trolled a lot, but that guy's awesome. I share his opinion on people collecting Social Security for fibromyalgia. I mean, you want to know the fucking solution for fibromyalgia? They give you 800 milligrams of ibuprofen. And maybe some icy hot. I got that shit right here in my fucking drawer. It's a little cream if you get fucking $5 at a drugstore. Over the counter. You don't need to collect $900 checks and not work for that.
Oh God, I get 800 milligram ibuprofens for my arthritis.
Yeah. That's what they give you when you have fibromyalgia. They don't give you anything serious. They don't give you anything at all. It's painkiller. Everyone has pain. I literally over a year ago, I had my fucking intestines and my stomach cut open and ripped out in front of me. I woke up during the surgery to my fucking organs in a bowl. You don't see me whining about it. That's grotesque. I'm sorry I had to explain that on stream. But shit happens. I'm not saying I'm the greatest fucking person on the planet. I'm not the nicest person on the planet. Hell, I'm one of the biggest assholes I fucking know. And I'm happy about it. Because I'm a happy-go-lucky motherfucker sometimes. Most of the time I'm miserable. Because I see stupid shit like this happening every other day. All these fake little drama whores on fucking YouTube that think they're the biggest, hottest shit when they give themselves subs by paying some fucking website to sub-bot themselves to be some big fucking fancy YouTuber and big ethnologist. It just really irks the shit out of me just how fucking fake everything is. It is. It just irks the shit out of me. That's why I wanted to start this network that I'm running, because I don't want any more bullshit. Such as this podcast, but at the same time, I still want to be able to play video games. I still want to be able to fucking run a tournament, have fun. But to do it during all this shit is disgusting. No one should live in this. I don't even want to, I don't want to adopt. I don't even want to, have a kid during this. This is a shit show. Got power outages. I got to worry about my electric going out again because of this heat wave. I got to worry about, waking up the next day when some fucking protester comes down my street and fucks up my car or something, or burns down the neighborhood. You have fucking Walmarts boarding up their store prior to the fucking protests in my hometown. I have it fucking documented. I literally walked up to the Walmart greeter. I'm like, hey, why do you have boards on your windows? Oh, the protesters. We're not sure if it's going to be safe protest or not. I went up there the day right after the protest. Shit you not, the boards are down. You can't tell me that was a safe protest when the police had to walk with them. It's really that simple.
Well, I gotta get going. I gotta be up early for work.
Thank you for joining me, DM. And you did make a good point with the reform plan. That was excellent.
Yeah, thank you for joining. Now leave.
Well, and the thing with that reform plan is it'll never get adopted because it makes too much sense.
That's true. Because there needs to be some kind of income going back to the fucking people.
They just don't really want to take the time to do some things because it'll just be, I guess, a resource.
Because it would become a paradise?
Yeah.
I guess they don't want people living in peace. They want people living in disharmony. But I'd rather people that watch this podcast or any other thing know that, A, none of the people that are talking here, we're not against any black people, white people, or anything. We're just against fucking stupid shit. We're against brutality. We're for police reform. I don't think police should be abolished.
No.
Because you need law enforcement in order for peace to be maintained. It's pretty simple.
I mean, something I just want to say. I think, if anything, police are a more oppressed minority. But
that's a little specific. But I'm not gonna debate on it.
Yeah.
But yeah. See you later, DM. You have a good night. Or did he already leave?
Yeah, he's already gone.
Oh. I don't get notifications when people
fine.
leave now. That's great. I don't know why. Oh, it's because I'm on streamer mode. That would make more sense. But, yeah. I did have every one of those links up. Did I go over every single fucking thing already in an hour? Holy shit. Didn't I? Oh, I didn't go over some of the side things that happened in my township.
Wait, I mean, we haven't actually talked about, like, George Floyd himself yet. either.
No, we haven't. You know what? Fuck what happened in my township. Talk about George Floyd. You have the floor.
So, yeah, okay. So, Maris, can you do a little brief synopsis of the events that happened?
That's a lot to
George
ask
Floyd?
for. But, okay, so from what I remember from reading from a couple different blog sites and a couple of news reports, so George Floyd apparently at first used a fake $20 bill at a store that he was going in and out of every other day for many years and knew the owners of. And apparently the people that was working there, thought he was using a fake 20. So he left. And apparently he tried to use another 20. When the cops were called, he went back to his car, and the police arrived on scene to him, apparently intoxicated, sitting on his car. And I'm not, not making this up. This is what was written in blogs that I read. And if it's construed in some way, I apologize. It's what I read online. He was somewhat intoxicated. He was sitting on his car, the roof of his car, so the front hood. And when they arrived on scene, that's when, altercation, him on the ground, knee to the neck, and then the rest of that happened. And apparently, as Warfare had discovered from looking online, apparently Floyd's family did a background check on how he died, or synopsis.
Autopsy.
Yeah. They did an autopsy, and then the state, or whatever, the fucking county did an autopsy, and the results were different. Do you want to explain that?
Okay. So the family autopsy, the one the family gotten, it showed he died from asphyxiation, which is basically like loss of breath, and he couldn't breathe, kind of thing.
Right.
So I believe that's what we were kind of made to believe. And I knows that the whole like, oh yeah, I can't breathe. That's a big slogan now.
Yeah.
But they did second autopsy. This is considered the more correct autopsy, and that's that he died from
Cardiac arrest.
Cardiovascular arrest.
Yeah. And as I said earlier, the easiest way for an autopsy the difference between them is when you asphyxiation, you bleed in the skull. You basically drown in blood.
Sorry. Cardiopulmonary arrest, which is also just called cardiac arrest.
Yeah, same thing. But the difference would be the amount of internal bleeding in the skull compared to the chest cavity. So
okay, yeah, so the cardiac arrest is of course your heart kind of failing. So.
Yeah, basically a heart attack. You don't necessarily, and this is the truth, you only get a heart attack when you're under stress. Now, if you are forced out of oxygen for a long while and your brain is trying to reprocess oxygen to your brain and everything else, it could cause heart failure because you're pumping blood to your head to get oxygen to survive, and that's much pressure on your chest. You could die from that. So if I were the state and I was trying to falsify information or to cover that up to prevent this kind of a protest, that was honestly the smartest thing they could have done. But at the same time, it feels legitimate too. So it could work both ways. It could be true and false, that autopsy that was issued. But what makes it weird is why the what autopsy came first? Does it say?
Is a family autopsy came first. Then is the second autopsy, which is pretty accurate autopsy. It was done by the county.
Right. Does it say what county official did the autopsy? Because I know a lot of autopsies get faked.
It was done by a medical examiner.
Does it say the name? Who signed it?
No, I don't know who. Okay, I don't know what county it was in. Well, no, I do know what county it was in, but no, I don't know the person.
Right. So there's probably a lot of questions regarding that autopsy and how accurate it was. It'll probably be reinvestigated once more to be true or false, and probably at some point when this is all said and done, peace kind of subsides back, there'll probably be a court case, a pretty big one, civil rights, You know what's odd? My aunt suggested to me that we're going to experience another civil war. And I'm like, that's...
Civil war?
Yeah, civil war between
Or
races.
civil rights movement?
No, a civil war. We're going to fight amongst ourselves. And I looked at it and I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think we're going to get to that point. I don't want to get to that point. It shouldn't have to get to that fucking point. It's a real fucking simple plan. Just like DM explained. All you need is a fucking police reform, this shit ends. Get a police reform going, drop these fucking goddamn COVID masks, throw them the fuck away, let's go back to producing actual shit. And going back to, you know, technology and science. But, you know, that'll never happen. But, I don't condone the burning down of that police department at all. Or the looting that followed, or the people blowing themselves up with an ATM, or trying to get into one. None of that shit. I wouldn't condone it. It's not safe. I wouldn't do it. What I would say is, for police reform, I feel like every document in every municipal across the country should be thrown the fuck out. And just as the police reform, as DM said, should follow a plan like that. Because that's really the only way to get things back to fucking normal. And force law enforcement. And just give it a single 1 day or 1 week period to fucking pan out. And start investigating who has weapons. The only issue is people disarming. Just like BDX sent me the other day a video about disarming.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people want to give up their weapons and their rights to hold weapons and bear. Because they feel like it protects them. And they have the right to have that. But what stops, a family member or a sibling or a kid that they raise from going out and doing something like Parkland? Like Nicholas Cruz? Columbine? What stops a kid from doing that? From going out and being able to get that? And mentally not be correct in the head where they wouldn't pull a trigger on someone. What happens if you're, a gun owner and you're respectful, and one day you lose your shit, you just go insane. Like you go postal and you just lose it. What happens? So, there's two sides of that. That's the only issue. And I'm not against guns. I'm not. It's just the people that use them are fucking stupid. And the punishments for these people, honestly, instead of holding them in jail and, running up our taxpayer money, we should just go back to death penalties. Do you know how much money is spent keeping electricity in someone's cell, to keep them locked in, to feed them, to wash them? How much do you think it costs to keep one person in jail for 20 years? On average warfare, how much do you think?
Wait, do what now? How much does it cost to do what?
How much do you think it costs to keep someone in jail for 20 years? Like financially, like the prison.
Sorry, you're
Okay, I'm cutting
it's
out.
kind of cutting out. Yeah.
How much in 20 years? Like, how much would it cost to hold a prisoner for 20 years?
Well,
Between showers, food, electric. Speaking of COVID, I find it funny how you said the chances of dying from COVID is the same as dying from lightning back in April, and here we are 2 months later, and it's still true today. As Warfare pointed out, originally I went to the World Population website, and it said there was like 8 billion people, right? And apparently you said it was 7.8. But
yeah, it was 7.
how do you really tell how many people are in the world? I mean, there's probably people off the grid, people, people.
It's still an estimation. Like, how
Yeah.
many people do you think are actually off the grid?
I don't know, but there's probably more than we think. That's why I'd like to overestimate.
I mean, I would imagine it's at least, at most in the millions.
Stretching right now.
So
No,
I
there's have
doubt
to be a
it's
lot.
like, I doubt it's actually like enough to change that number too much. But
I would like to think
think what you want.
the closest 8.1 bill. 8 to 8.1 bill. from how much we use resources and everything else, and our national debt increasing in the last 6 months span of time, I would point to that number greatly. You have no idea like how many people come into the U.S. that are, you know, obviously legally here, and they're collecting Social Security from dead people from like random houses. I know one person, and I know them from one friend who he visited once. He lived with a random person. You know, he was doing his lawn and shit. Apparently, when he dropped dead one day, you know, fell down in the kitchen, he took his ID and started collecting Social Security on his death.
Hey, so Maris, to answer your original question,
Yeah.
apparently here in my state, Texas, the average cost per inmate annually is around 22,000.
22,000. Is that a year?
Or about that. Yeah.
So 20 years of $22,000 a year.
But that's from this Vera.org. I don't know. I don't know.
I
how
was gonna
accurate
think
this is.
20K a year. That does sound accurate, which is
Okay,
sad.
let's look at your state. So, New Jersey, it's about, oh my god, was
Yeah, Aaron, I was gonna do it Sunday, but like the issue why I was held off for a day was all of Sunday in my township, my hometown. You can look it up, Gloucester County of New Jersey. My hometown is in Deptford. They walked through the town. I live 20 miles from it. The Black Lives Matter. I was just filming the whole way. I'm not going to show any of that film on here because a lot of it's fucked up. Especially with the baby strollers and no masks. It was just a shit show. They started to camp out in front of a local diner that was closed down because of COVID. But they were only doing takeout orders, and apparently it was just ridiculous. It was a shit show. And then they marched all the way to my municipal, and apparently I heard a rumor that as soon as I left, apparently, and then I didn't record it, unfortunately, they were throwing rocks at the police cars that were lined up between the municipal and the bank, which is funny, because, like, how many people were fucking standing there? They could have easily raided both buildings. They could have raided the fucking bank, and the police couldn't have done nothing. From how many people were standing, I would have called the cops if it wasn't, you know, announced as a protest. Because that's enough people. But, it was nuts. As soon as I got home, or it was like 9 o'clock, it was so fucking late. I was up for like 20 some hours. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to stay up for a little bit longer. But, like, I didn't feel like unloading all the footage I had. I didn't feel like looking over it. I didn't feel like planning out what I was going to do for this pod. Late as shit. I was up all fucking day. I was on my feet from 5 in the morning to fucking 9 o'clock at night. And I was still going all the way to 5 in the morning. And then I just ended up playing Sonic Robokart 2 and playing memes all day. Which, I'm probably going to go do that right now because it is 11:30 at night. Probably, 11:30. And I want to continue doing that because that server is fucking awesome. I have 70 alternative accounts. The Eggman cardboard, that model was fucking hilarious. But I might stream. I might stream tomorrow.
So now that we've talked a little bit about, you know, all the George Floyd stuff.
You asked me about Pepsi and Coke, I'm gonna fucking lose it.
No. You're gonna talk about your the stuff in the municipalities.
Oh, sorry, what?
So the stuff in some municipalities.
Oh. What in the regards, like what was going on in
I
town?
don't know. You said you would rather talk about George Floyd than.
Oh, well.
That was earlier.
I think the whole Black Lives Matter protest and everything that happened and just generalized police brutality kind of covers George Floyd and, you know, all the fucking hype surrounding it. Yeah. What do I fucking make of this world? It's not like there's a White Lives Matter marching around going nuts. When fucking I'm more surprised that I never heard about the Daniel Schaefer murder. I'm surprised. I'm surprised there was never a protest.
Okay, Maris, I mean, see, if anything,
what?
How would I put this? Just, I think all lives matter. Why does it just have to be black lives? I mean, right?
I agree. You know what's funny?
I mean, if
there was a
anything,
white girl
like-
at the protest when they arrived at the municipal. There was a crowd of a few thousand people, and she pulled up a little electric speakerphone, and she's like, "It's not just black lives. There are white people getting murdered by cops too." And everyone just turned and looked at her, and all the black people just gave her the dirtiest fucking look, and I felt bad. It was just a look of hate. And one black guy said, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I can't get it on. I can't show it on recording. I can't show it here because it's too bad.
Yeah, no.
It's-
See, like they don't want to. They don't really like. They really try to suppress the fact that it's not just black people. It really. I mean, in some cases, it's not really about race. It's just whenever you have people that are like breaking.
You know what this
store
reminds me of?
windows and stuff. I mean,
Do you know what this reminds me of? To be
Yeah.
completely off topic from this podcast episode, since I'm close to ending it. Casey Anthony. Do you remember that whole fucking shit show? It was like the OJ case run by the attorney who was defending her was the same dude who defended OJ.
oh really?
Yeah. I think that bitch is guilty. I still think she's fucking guilty. She should not have gotten $1 million. She fucking murdered her own kid
But
and then sued a mailman.
I'm not sure that's what we're gonna be talking about here.
Well, I was only talking about it because of the protest involving that too. They apparently made it a matter of race at some point. I mean, it was a matter of race. They were calling her a white trash woman who does drugs. That's also a stereotype. Which, unfortunately, is true. A lot of women like to mix drugs with pregnancy and go crazy, and then they lose their kids.
I mean, that's how that works, isn't it?
You know what? Back to that political compass test that you suggested I take. That one question that involved what was it? I don't want to say abortion. What the fuck was it? The legal grounds that women can give birth. I don't know if there was a question in there, but I firmly believe that you need to have a decent job. You cannot be unemployed. You have to have at least one member, both either the father or the mother, employed. You can never have used drugs. You cannot have a drug charge on you.
I mean, that's kind of hard to
Yeah.
I guess, detect. So for
If you get
Yeah,
pulled
so-
over and have drugs on you, and then your daughter's in the back of the car, and you're a mother driving, or you get pulled over drunk driving, what does it say to how you're being fucking responsible at that point? And I've seen women keep their kids over that too. At that point, you should lose your kid, and because that's irresponsible. Let's say you're drunk driving, you hit someone, you kill the kid too with you. You're irresponsible. You just made the man you hit, or the man or the woman you hit on the way, have to live with that for the rest of their lives because you were drunk driving. So I just feel like it's not it's not even the drugs, it's not even the fucking alcohol or the driving at all. There's instances where people are just fucking stupid and there's needles on their front lawn. You know, a passerby that lives, as the neighbor sees a needle on the front lawn, there's kids running around. They're going to be like, why the fuck is there a needle on your lawn? With your name on it or something. Maybe it's a fucking insulin needle or something. How did it get on your front lawn? You don't know what the fuck it is. Maybe it's something else. Maybe you're texting somebody like a moron, i.e., this happened to me, this is a true story. My ex texted me by accident in mass text that she was mixing coke, heroin, and everything else and said she's having a fun time. Immediately lost custody of her kid. I reported that shit right to child service. I'm like, hello? Yeah, I got this nice text message right here that says, this girl who's a mother is mixing up coke, heroin, and acid. And having a fun time. Immediately. Gone. They came to my house, they checked my phone. I turned it over, I'm like, here, check it. Check the message ID, search it, trace it. Traced it back to her. She's immediately put into questioning. Lost her fucking kid. But that's the system we're living in. Our police system and our child service system. Like, with everything else. I still feel like if you're a mother, you should, there should be legal standards. Just like how, I don't know what the laws are for underage women giving birth in certain countries. That's really different. In other countries, just the sex laws in general is ridiculous. And ever changing. I'm pretty sure Texas, what's the age of consent in Texas? Is it still 18? I don't remember.
I believe it may be like 17 at most. I know at least.
I'm trying to remember.
I would imagine.
You would think that it would not be so divided. That you need a whole fucking Wikipedia page to explain why something is banned in a certain state and how every state has their own. How their state has everything so divided by law that you don't know which one's which. Like, you live in Texas, you should automatically know, hey, this is the same age for everyone else in every other state. It should be the same for me. The fact that you couldn't even figure out that from your own state says that our laws are fucking messed up. It's not that it's your fault for not knowing that.
I mean, it's just I haven't checked in a long time. I'm pretty sure it's 17, but
it's something you should know. Right off the top of your head. It's not your fault, though. It's something that it should automatically be known by everyone.
I should know it off the top of my head, so.
Yeah. But, I'm not just saying that either. I'm saying any law. It could be anything. From anything stupid, in your case, you really, you like pornography, right? So, you need your hentai. Let's say they ban hentai in one fucking state. Can't use the internet to go look at hentai in, let's say, for quote-unquote, for the sake of argument, in the state of Wisconsin. Alright, no more hentai there. It's all banned. You'll have to move state. But would you question that? Why would that be specific to that state? It's stupid fucking laws written by our stupid legislators, and the police reform is something that has needed to be done over the last 100 years, because I've seen fucking slavery in the 70s. Firsthand from my neighbor when I lived in Quarryville. Apparently, she used to be a slave. She had a slave tattoo around her ankle. I think I told you about this months ago.
Yeah, you told me about this a couple times.
You typing up a storm? What are you typing?
Yeah?
What are you typing?
What am I typing?
Are you typing about how Pepsi's better?
No, I'm talking to somebody else.
Oh, talking to Apollo?
No, I'm not Apollo.
Kiwi?
It's somebody you don't know.
Oh.
It's a friend narrative, okay?
A friend? When you say a friend, is it RuneScape a friend?
It's nothing, okay? Quit acting like a parent.
Are you okay, Warfare? Is there something you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about your love for Pepsi? How Pepsi Man could be your Lord and Savior? You don't even have to be a member to be marginalized identity. It's just like that black state attorney that got pulled over. Or that black FBI agent who got taken into custody, was cuffed, then uncuffed by the 3 white officers that cuffed him. I thought that one was fucking hilarious. I couldn't stop fucking laughing when they uncuffed him. When they looked down, immediately saw his ID. He's like, yeah, oh, you stupid. And they were looking at him, I was like, fuck. When it came to that, it's just like, dude, do your fucking jobs, right? Maybe he was undercover. You just jeopardized his entire thing. Maybe he was undercover in the streets to watch a crime. Or to, monitor someone. Maybe he was searching for someone, looking out. To follow them home and report that information. But here, you just gave out his fucking position, arrested him, and made him show that he's FBI. GG. You just fucked over an FBI agent. Because you're racist and thought that, he was a suspect. Because you didn't have any other information besides a profile that he was black and looks like you. Pepsi Man, everybody. Honestly, if and this is just true, if they didn't make the arrest and they just asked and demanded his information legally, without anything, and said, "Hey, we're looking for a suspect that looks like you. We'd like to see your information." And if he refused it, ask why. Did you read my comment above that? It's what? What were you gonna say, Warfare?
Have you ended the podcast yet?
No.
Okay.
Sarcastic comment. Maris, please wait. You have the funniest meme t-shirts. Getting a bit off topic. It's really good that you're thinking outside the box on this issue. Anyone can be a victim of police brutality. Sure, blackface is systematic racism, but anyone can get a shotgun pointed at them for anything. Yeah. That's the point we're at. Daniel Schaefer's a nice example of that. What were you going to say, Warfare? What did you want me to end the podcast?
It's something I have to say later.
Why don't you say it now? What is it? So a special comment?
No, it's something I don't want to tell a podcast, man.
What if I muted myself to hear this?
No, it doesn't work that way.
Okay. So when I hit the end button, I'll hear this magical comment, and it's probably going to be like, Coke is better, and then you leave. I swear to God, if it's Coke is better and you leave, I'm just fucking done for the night.
No, I mean, I can say Zone on stream all I want. I mean, at this point, anybody who has watched your channel prior to this should know that Coke is already better. Right?
I think Pepsi is Lord Pepsi Man. Yeah, I'm gonna make Pepsi Man make a comeback. I'm gonna help Pepsi Incorporate or Pepsi Company. I'm gonna help him out.
Pepsi Coke.
Pepsi Coke was the middleman.
Pepsi Cola, man.
Pepsi Cola. Did you like that one? Did you like that? You really liked that one.
What?
It was Pepsi Cola. It was fake.
No. Pepsi Cola tastes pretty bad as well, but whatever.
Alright, that is going to be the end of my episode because what am I on? An hour and a half? I mean, my typical ones are an hour. I didn't really go over George Floyd too much, but like, that guy is dead. The guy who killed him, or the officers responsible for putting an E on him, is behind bars. Just keep it at that.
They're considering doing a parole or something. I forget what it is.
Parole?
Yeah, they could be. They could be possibly putting him on parole or making the charges a bit more lenient. Don't quote me.
Don't quote. Yeah, I know. That's still dirty. That's how dirty fucking municipals are. They look out for one another. They circle jerk. They're like Reddit. They're like fucking Reddit. I bet you, if you really wanted a fucking peaceful United States, you'd hire everyone that runs fucking 4chan. And they'd run the country better. I shit you not, if that happened, it would probably run fucking better. On its own in 5 minutes. Probably. But that's going to be the end of my episode. Good night, everyone.
Okay, good night, everyone.
Dying
Be safe.
carpet. Yeah, be safe. Don't